So there is actually sound working. So in case you are watching, hi, I'm Mike George. I was just doing a lovely little moment of just silence. I realized, believe it or not, happy Friday, by the way. Welcome to Crimson House for one of those rare and lovely days in which I actually have some spare time and some spare thought, I guess, to put on two of these little wandering productions of ours for you guys. So it's really lovely to be back. I was on earlier this morning just to kind of open up the morning with some beautiful, I guess, rambling. And I realized, and believe it or not, I do watch these things sort of after, to kind of make sure I don't, first of all, say anything that gets me fired. And second of all, just to make sure I don't say anything that gets me, I don't know, what's the old expression? Don't say anything that you might want your mother to hear, totally out of context through the grapevine on Facebook, mind you, which somehow she does. It's incredible. My mom, I think of my mom as sort of probably one of the least savvy people obviously no offense to my mother. Love you, mother. But she is not very, I'm sure a lot of us can relate. She's not very savvy with the phone, but God golly, she still finds out, she still finds out shit about me somehow she, from Louisiana. There's so many ways. I want to do a little follow-up because as I was listening to the previous broadcast this morning, I realized that I left some critical gaps. Mind you, I know I get a little ADD and such when I kind of just spitball here off, on the camera, and of course those ADD moments often can be, let's say stretched quite a bit out, when when we get the bong involved. So, obviously in the spirit of sort of wandering, sort of scriptless banter, that's kind of the nature of these things. So that's kind of, sorry, as I might have mentioned before, that's kind of what the consequences of, not having a lot of time and not having a lot of resources and personnel when it comes to that lovely assistant twink that we all love to have, that was just available at a whim's notice to jot shit down and to say yes to everything I conjure up in my imagination. But anyways, one of those little unplugged holes, I suppose, if you will. This is if anything for her as much as it is for just general, I guess, logic and flow of these what some might call a production here. But I brought up Heather Smoger. I think now it's Heather Myers, and I apologize. God damn, I apologize for bringing her name up without even supplying the total context here. But the reason I brought her up before, and then I got a little wandered away on the subject matter here, is she. So back in high school, back in my class, Steubenville High School class of 2004, I used to record a lot of our classroom, a lot of some of my classes and such. A few of us were taking college classes / AP courses and such, and so I was kind of trying, your senior year of high school, you try to at least pretend to yourself that you're gonna try to be a good student, when you enter university and such. And so you try to sort of experiment with some new things and try to build some good habits and such. Meanwhile, this is senior year, so this is also keeping in mind that, senioritis and our general loss of willpower when we realize that the next few months of our lives, no matter what, pretty much don't matter because our futures have pretty much been written in stone by then. So anyways, Heather Smoger, I bring her up because she had a couple actually of these instances where she just kind of got really fed up in our class and just would burst out something, and she would, and there was a couple very specific instances of this, one of which I still, and I think some of you guys probably, especially those who are still, friends with her and everything, and still see her from time, oh my God, it's still very much, I remember it very much. One of those is, so I think it's might have been a band or something now. God, I don't even remember. But anyways, there was a moment in which we started off with the sort of the silence before, and I kind of as sort of mentioned, we were having a moment of silence, and anyways, so there was just like this, it was one of these moments in which we were supposed to all acknowledge the moment of silence. Okay, I think it was the beginning of like a football game or something. No, I don't even remember the context here, but anyways, so whoever the teacher is or whatever, they facilitate us into and they begin a moment of silence. And sure enough, some idiot, or actually kind of a group of idiots, and to be fair to them, maybe they didn't hear the prompt for the moment of silence or whatever. Who knows? But a bunch of people start talking, and obviously the silence is breached. And my God, I would say not even 3 seconds had passed by when Heather stood. I don't know if she actually stood up. I'm being a little over dramatic here in the retelling, but she basically was like, "Silence means be quiet," and she just basically just, oh God, it was just beautiful and marvelous in a way, but she just sort of just it just burst. I hesitate to use the word outburst, because it wasn't an outburst. It was a very intentional moment, I thought, from her, where she was like, silence means be quiet. It was a very matter of fact, sort of firm. It was almost like she was standing up for silence, in a weird sort of way. And I know that sounds ridiculous sort of in the abstract, but I think everybody sort of knows, we live in a noisy world. And even myself, I've noticed in these sort of broadcasts where, I have the camera in front of me and I have who the fuck knows watching this. There's a certain, obviously there's always that sort of anxiety over, just being on camera and that whole, I don't think I need to explain this to you guys, the whole concept of sort of stage fright and performance anxiety, right? And so, at least I have sort of gotten used to this sort of concept, and this occurs a lot, not even just with camera, being on camera, but I think also settings in which I'm on in front of people, or this comes up sometimes when I'm teaching and such like that. And actually, I think it was when I was doing some some teaching. I was teaching a couple kind of random intro classes, low level kind of intro to engineering classes, and I realized the power. I mean, silence is a very underappreciated thing, and as I was saying before, as I was starting to say, we're so used to the noise, and even me, just by myself here, or whatever, when I have this camera in front of me, or even when I have people around, sometimes I feel like there's this weird sort of vibe in which sometimes we feel pressure to fill to fill the silence. For some reason, we don't like silence. It's a very unnatural sort of state, at least in my head. And even now, hell, let's just illustrate here. Okay, let me just go off. Let's just pretend the audio failed here, and I'll just. Damn it, I just broke the goddamn silence. See, Heather Smoker would be on my ass right now. God damn it. So anyways, obviously I am not very good at leaving a sort of an open-ended silence, but that's kind of why, I kind of just want to spitball this a little bit and just do this as an exercise, and viewers be damned, by now you guys have all had a chance, plenty of opportunities to chime in and for me to kind of, take suggestions and listen to you all, but now we enter the silence, okay? And I'm going to see here if I have it's 2:52 in the PM here, Central Standard Time, and so starting from the 52 here, the 52nd minute, or let's say the 53rd, just going to do complete silence, and I do this because I'm tired of talking. I'm sure by now you guys are tired of listening to my bullshit. And just because, what, God damn it, I can literally hear birds singing around me, and there will be no music as well, so music counts as whatever, so that, so no music, none of my bullshit, just unadulterated silence, starting now. Ah, okay. So I already know I lost the game here by breaching. I have just now breached the silence, and I think that was God, merely 4 minutes. But I will say, just in those 4 minutes of silence, it was really nice. And yes, Mike, thank you. Yes, that Quebec flag. I love that Quebec flag, honey. Let me tell you, I love the Quebec flag. So, I love all the flags that I have. I mean, obviously, the flags are there because they represent something about myself. But well, hell, I mean, I just admire. I mean, come on now. I mean, we all know the Quebec story. It's interesting because I've just only recently really read about the Acadian people, and it's kind of sad, really, that we don't really learn about this very thoroughly in U.S. history, but about Louisiana. And I guess in my sort of naive head, the only it was very tempting at first to sort of immediately kind of compare Louisiana and Quebec because obviously they're the two major French areas in North America, but it's almost a completely different opposite, almost like an opposite sort of story, and it just it really kind of makes me think a lot, especially in the context of a lot of what's going on now in Ukraine and sort of sort of a lot of the redrawing of borders and we'll say resettling of past scores and such and whatnot, all the usual things that I guess drive things like war and such. But the Quebec identity is something I have, the more I really learn about it and the more I really understand it, the more I really fucking admire it, man. And I know, fuck, it's funny because, I'm American, and just, me personally living in Montreal and living in Quebec and trying to, just practical matters, trying to get a job and trying to sort of, fit in as, the whole immigrant trying to fit in thing was very, very much, very, very, very present. And I know it's interesting to kind of, it's weird to kind of call myself an immigrant, in a place like Canada, because so I'm taking my shirt, I'm doing a little striptease, I hope, because it's fucking hot already. So in case anybody was wondering why the fuck I'm taking my shirt off yes, that's why. But anyways, I just have a lot of admiration for the overall Quebec spirit of somehow maintaining their culture and identity, in North America. I mean, it's pretty incredible. When you see kind of when you sort of look around, especially the United States or even just Canada, and you sort of see kind of, I don't know, maybe I'm just old and jaded and bitter now, or I don't even know. But you sort of see the homogeneity, I guess, if you will. And what I mean by that is the sameness, the repetition, the Walmart on every fucking town. You sort of see how you realize where once upon a time you thought that your hometown, where your special place was was special, you realize that there's sort of this weird, I don't know. There's a lot of places, basically the United States, Canada, a lot of it looks the same. All right, you see, it all looks like strip mall-topia, and you've all heard me soapbox plenty of times already about how I hate highways and sprawl, and a lot in all of the little things that sort of contribute to the car dependency culture that we find ourselves in. All right, but fuck. Something that I don't. So, anyways, like in respect to the Quebec identity thing, that is something that's one of many things I noticed that is unique about Quebec versus North America, and I really say in terms of how it affects my personal life, I say that because it was a dream of mine to work for Hydro Quebec, to work for that's sort of the major utility, the major electric utility up in there, and it's kind of a distinct sort of entity itself because it is a state, it's a government owned utility. So it's, and even more so than we have in the States here with we have a couple like government entities that serve as electric utilities, and for some of those in the biz, you probably are familiar with like Bonneville Power, Tennessee Valley Authority is one that we know of, that's kind of relatively close by. Anyways, so Hydro Quebec has, it's just in my little world of like energy, electrical systems, power systems, etc. It was sort of like the equivalent of working for Google or working for Facebook, because it's a lot of prestige associated with it. A lot of it was basically it had been a career dream of mine, and mind you, like whatever. I'm not gonna go all day into that, but I've had the pleasure of working for other companies that are just, if not more, innovative and amazing to work for, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, I just bring up Hydro Quebec specifically because I was basically not, there would have been no practical way for somebody like me to work at Hydro Quebec. Even with my background, like even with my like my expertise and knowledge and what have you. Yes, Michael, thank you. You nailed it. Like it was definitely the French thing, and I think even though, and here's Mike, here's kind of where it's interesting, because I think even if I had honestly sat down and did the diligence here, and mind you, it's a lot of diligence, it's a lot of work to learn French. Even when, especially I would say in Montreal, where it's you're just confronted with English, and anybody who's tried to learn how to French. Learn. Let me see if I can even get my English out here. First of all, kids, anybody who's ever tried to, anybody who's ever done a good faith attempt to even learn French in the first place in Montreal will realize right away it's hard. It's a lot harder than it looks, and a big reason for that is anybody who tries to learn a language, like especially as you get older, you have to really. Well, you really have to immerse yourself in it. I know everybody says that, but you really have to militantly stay in French, like in the language that you're trying to learn. You cannot allow yourself back into that easy little comfort bubble of your own native tongue. And it's, God damn it, in a city like Montreal, it is almost impossible as an English speaker to honestly learn French. And I know everybody's that's telling me, oh, well, Michael, if you tried harder, if you just hung out with the same, with these groups of people instead of those, what I mean? I know, there's honestly things I could have done better. But it's whatever the fucking excuses I'm trying to make are, it's difficult. And without really placing yourself exclusively around that language, you're gonna slip, baby. You're gonna slip back into English. And, it's going to really compromise a lot of the whole exercise. And, when we kind of get into the conversation about why, about just the whole overall notion of older people having more trouble learning a second language, you really appreciate more a lot of the things that a lot of the biases, a lot of the rules that we didn't even know that we sort of follow, like the little things that we're not even aware that we do, in the context of the language. Obviously, there's a lot of those things, we can say about ourselves in general. But anyways, and I say that because the Hydro Quebec thing, it was something that was very impactful. I wanted to stay in Montreal. I love Montreal. It is still like a beautiful city. It's a beautiful place in my soul, and it represents in my own life a place. Honestly, a place of freedom. That sounds kind of cheesy, but I don't know. Maybe call me what call me old now or call it whatever. but I have come to appreciate freedom more than just this cliche bumper sticker thing that all of the pro-soldier, pro-war people had put on their cars once upon a time to commemorate 9/11 and to somehow justify that for war. Anyways, we remember those days, kids, don't we? But goddamn it, like obviously, like, with all the shit going on today in the world, I appreciate freedom a lot more. And mind you, I have not been in a prison camp or had my life, any fucked with in some. Well, I have, I guess, in some small ways. Honestly, I guess. But nothing to the scale of what the people of Ukraine are seeing. I would not ever. I would never put myself on that same platform. But I would still, I'm still worried. Okay, and I still have had a lot of my. I've had I guess a lot of my disillusions broken. This sort of thing that we tell ourselves about war being such a distant, impossible thing to happen on our shores. Yeah. Gosh. But anyways, the whole back to the whole Quebec thing, the freedom thing. This idea that Quebec really has had to fight and really make a sustained effort to keep the things the way they were in their own sort of brand and their own sort of way of life. We take that shit for granted. Like I don't know. Like the whole concept, I guess, in my head of culture. Culture. What does that mean to you? Like, I guess when I grew up, growing up, a lot of the sort of the early definitions I have of culture are like, the kind of the weird, kind of the hoity-toity things, like the museums and the operas and sort of the things that you sort of normally associate with bougie folks, right? At least in my head, that's what sort of first comes to mind. And I think that's really unfortunate because it almost sort of implies a sense of distance between, like, what I would consider like the performers, it's sort of like I don't know, like the the arts community, I would say, any sort of I don't know, any sort of creative, kind of funky, expressive, novel thing, Anyways, I'm kind of wandering. What was I talking about? Silence before? Let's do the silence thing right now, and that way, I can at least kind of retrain my thoughts, if nothing else. But here, I'm going to enjoy a moment of silence again. And in the wise words of Heather Smoger, silence means be quiet. Meanwhile, you guys can have a nice little tour of my messy house, all that fun stuff. Oh, goodness. Hopefully nothing incriminating I've left around. And if so, well, shh, silence. Oh, God. So I promise you I'm not that narcissistic. That's funny. I'm watching that's kind of funny. I was watching the previous Facebook video of myself. That's funny that I have like a previous Facebook video of mine it's almost like a little trippy. Let me like X that out, lest I look like kind of a narcissist. More of a narcissist than I already do. Oh, Lord. So, all right. Again, silence exercise. I have breached it once again. And starting now. As Heather Smoger said, silence, bitches, means be quiet. And no, I'm not allowed. I keep having this temptation to just put on like silence music. But then what the fuck is, like, again, silence means be quiet. I hope you guys can hear the birds out there. I think nowadays we are pretty certain that modern microphones are sensitive enough to catch these things. And call me cheesy here, guys. Again, I know I'm preaching to silence, but I love just hearing the flags sort of like wave around. I know, like, again, and God, I'm turning into like a cheesy. I'm turning into like I'm turning into like a dad, aren't I? Oh my God, now I'm like, oh my God, I'm getting hard about the U.S. flag, and oh my God, at least I haven't wrapped myself in the goddamn thing yet, like a total fucking tacky as fuck bitch. Nah, I'm just kidding. God damn it, our flag is beautiful. It really is. It'd be more beautiful if I could find a place to put this phone. She's so pretty. I live right by this traffic circle, and like it's kind of what I would say is one of the busier parts of one of the busier roads in the Alexandria area. And like, I don't know, I feel like most people would hate living off of like kind of a minor highway, but I sort of just love the constant noise of the cars and such. Like even at rush hour and stuff, like it's never got really been that bad. It's sort of I like sort of that constant hum of the road. I actually find that a lot more settling than like I cannot do like living in the country, like that type of shit, like where you just hear nothing at night, like, but really don't hear. It's not that you don't hear nothing. It's you hear every goddamn thing because you have no background noise to otherwise sort of like cover up every goddamn thing that is around you, including the things that you don't want to know are around you. So once again, just to remind anybody who might be hopping on here last minute or just kind of randomly here, doing a little an extended moment of silence. Really, this is going to be kind of a whole fucking, I promise 10 minutes. It's not. There's no way it's going to be 10 minutes of silence. It's a lot of fucking silence. We'll give it a proper minute at least. Silence. It's kind of funny how like even like so I'm sort of like I play a lot of music when I'm just like kind of milling around at home, even when I'm like actually doing work shit. And I don't know, it just became sort of a habit of mine. Like I have these different sort of I don't know, I have these sort of like vibes that I like to sort of sink myself into, and with an associated playlist for each of them. But again, to the idea of silence. Silence is its own sort of music, isn't it? I would say yes. It's kind of the magic of it in a way. Unrehearsed, unscripted, just shit happening around you. Oh, totally. I almost forgot I had this in the microwave. This is my. Oh my god! I made some stuffed peppers last night, and let me tell you how excited I was just to like be at a Kroger's. Or actually, no, I'm sorry. This is like I think an Albertsons, which we don't have Albertsons like up north. Like that is not a store that I like a brand I'm very familiar with. So, anyways, like, but I've been very impressed at least so far. And mind you, like I live in a small town. It's not like one can imagine. I guess one can get the wrong impression that a small town shopping is quite limited, but not thanks to Albertsons here. So yeah, I'm enjoying some stuffed peppers, homemade, homo-made, from yours truly. And for anybody who's ever tried my cooking, or who's been subjected to my cooking, I tend to like spicy shit, so. Oh my god, not to toot my own horn here, but oh my god, this is definitely a hit here. Oh, there's been some misses, girl, but this is a hit. By golly, this is like perfect. I'm just thankful that we live in the year 2022, and I can still find like mangoes and spicy peppers and just basically things. I mean, mind you, I know inflation has gotten us, but god damn it, we just gotta be thankful for what the Lord is still willing to provide us. In the year 2022, after everything, all the various ways in which we basically desecrated our earth. So thank you. Thank you, Mother Earth. Papa Jesus, I guess, since we're or I don't know. I can't remember I can't remember who's supposed to be the. God damn it! I can't remember who's supposed to be the daddy here in the whole divine Trinity and shit. What is it? Jesus is the son of the. We haven't ever figured that out yet, have we? God damn it! Where the fuck is Maury at? Is he still around? I thought by now they would have figured this whole shit out with all the wars and all the Jesus shit. And, maybe it's just me that needs the education, right? Little bay leaf got stuck in there, kids. Watch out for the bay leaves. My God, this almost tastes better, like better after being left in the fridge. Oh my Lord, my Lancer. And that is very befitting because I have a feeling like after a few peppers, I'm gonna need some Mylanta pretty damn soon. So I like to think there's always a logic to some of these quotes and expressions that we say all the time, and there it is. Oh my God! Wow, I'm sorry. I'm just in a little. I don't know what the fuck is. I just feel wonderful this morning. I know I look a hot mess, but I feel amazing. Whew, my goodness, I had a really nice date last night, without embarrassing him too much here on camera. And god damn it, I'm not in a position where I'm dating and shit now, not at all. But just, we'll call it, experiencing the culture. And so I experienced quite a bit of culture last night. Yes, culture is one thing to call it. Something between culture and just divine, utter, sheer beauty. Oh my God. Anyways, yes. We'll call it a reverberation of culture. But damn it, I only bring that up because I'm just sort of in this happy but messy state right now, and I promise you, I know it looks like it's kind of funny. I'm walking around my fucking apartment, feeling like, oh my God, did I fucking get shit faced last night or something? What the fuck? I just woke up this morning with the loveliest feeling of, I didn't have to go to work. I didn't have to fucking do a goddamn thing. I didn't even have to kick the boy out of my bed or anything because you know what? God damn it! It is a disservice to even call this lad a boy. He is a god, man. Oh, anyways, he probably watches this shit, so I will not allow him too much more ego stroking than what I've already provided him with some of the stroking I gave him last night. But on that note, kids, I feel like I'm kind of wandering closely and kind of dangerously close to some of the rated XXX content that we reserve for our premium members after dark. So if you are such a member of the privileged elites, no, I'm just kidding. God damn it, I should get I've always toyed with the idea of getting like an OnlyFans page and doing some sort of subscriber bullshit. And I think I probably will, not with whatever the fuck you think this is, with me shirtless and shit, even though that would be fun. But, there's a lot of different formats. I have some ideas for some formats, believe it or not, girls. Some formats and some concepts that I'm just curious to try, if nothing else, to see what a train wreck it ends up being. So join me, won't you, for the train wreck. Right here, right back here on your favorite Mike George / what will eventually be perhaps Crimson Roost Studios Live, some sort of quasi-professional production. And, I don't know. Anything else, guys? Fuck. Now that we've successfully managed to have me talking all this whole time. God damn, you guys are fucking quiet. I can't figure this out. I don't know if it's just because you sign on for a second and see me and then get scared away and just no comments, or perhaps because I'm just filling your mind with so much insight and so much useful shit that you're just speechless. What is it, friends? What is it? Tell me. All right. And on that note, anyways, I do need to get going here, and fuck it, no, we're gonna do one more. I did an entire segment on silence here, and I know I'm kind of going against the spirit here a little bit here, but we do require some interludes and transitions, and I gotta make sure you guys stay on track with what the fuck's going on here, right? We need a little bit of talking, but I don't think we need to. Shit, I've been doing a lot of thinking about that, just silence, and I guess really it comes down to just being a listener. And I've had just some awful experiences lately with being told I'm a bad listener, and honestly being a bad listener. And so I have some anyways, I'm just gonna chill out, and if you guys want to talk, I'm here to listen. Tell me about your day, your Friday, your Easter. How are you celebrating? The Jesus Rabbit Day or whatever holiday that we got going on. Even if it's just something as simple and as sad as taking advantage of the discounted chocolates and discounted wine, and just having a weekend for yourself, gal, because you goddamn earned it. So, I'll give you some silence here while I enjoy the rest of this fucking. But yes, please take this opportunity during my silence to kind of, if you wish to fill the void, not like not the void that was filled in me last night, honey, but in fact, if you want to fill the void of my silence, feel free to take this opportunity to tell me what's on your mind. Oh, well, actually, I believe if my clock serves me well, it is 4:20 p.m. Eastern Standard. As the saying goes, kids, it's always 4:20 somewhere. And in this case, it's 4:20 for our friends in the East Coast lands, including, Ohio, from Ohio on down to Montreal to New York. And I guess Florida, too. That's actually pretty strange. I just realized I just got this election mail. I haven't gotten election mail in a while, and I was sort of sitting here assuming, oh wow, how lovely. I haven't really done my research on the local candidates here and such, and in Alexandria, Louisiana, in the parish of Rapides. Parishes are essentially Louisiana counties. And then I realized as I was looking through here, this is basically for an Ohio politician. This is Franklin County Judge. God damn it. I don't know why. Well, I mean, I know somehow because I somehow updated my address but did not just tell the bitch that I don't know. I guess I sometimes wonder why they send mail out to people out of state when I don't know. But anyways, I'm sure she would be a lovely judge, and if I was still living in Columbus, Ohio, actually, you know what? I think I still am registered in Ohio. Now that I think about it, I might actually be able to vote for her legitimately. But I guess, by having said that online and having this trace of evidence against me potentially, you never know. Those Republicans might have accused me of voter fraud. Oh my God, could you imagine? And I don't even want to. Yeah, whatever. I would love. Yeah, I should be careful of what I wish for because I have had to deal with bullshit law enforcement and criminal justice drama in my own life. Oh goodness, haven't we all? I guess by now, huh? At least some of us are. Anyways, yeah. I'll stop there before I dig myself a proverbial hole, so to speak. Anyways, I don't think anybody's even on here anymore. This has gotten boring, and I'm done. I'm done, y'all. I hope you guys enjoyed the silence and had a little bit of slight spiritual healing from that little bit of silence that we shared before. And I hope you continue to have a lovely and relaxing and just joyful end of the week here as we approach Easter weekends. And don't forget to tell Jesus and the Easter Bunny or Jesus Rabbit, don't forget to have fun with them. Don't forget to not take shit too seriously and just have fun. Go out there with the kids and hide some eggs, and just have fun with baby. Doesn't matter if Jesus Bunny, if Jesus Rabbit is real or if it is real and it's merely just rabbit season and it's already been claimed, so to speak. See your family, see your friends, and take care of yourselves. Kids, take care of each other. Toodaloo.